All right, let's bring in my panel now. Deputy Executive Director at the IPA, Daniel Wild, and the new member for Monash, Liberal MP Mary Aldred. Welcome to you both. On the face of it, Mary, this sounds attractive, but I tell you what, imagine getting a home invasion and someone walking in, not just with a machete, but pepper spray, immobilising you, God forbid, raping you or something, or being a woman, you might have it in your bag, you're going out for a run or something, you go to use it and someone overpowers it and uses it on you. This makes me pretty nervous.
Yeah, I've got to say, Peter, I'm lukewarm on it as well. But I think this new government have come to office with a clear mandate to act on law and order. They've done some good work on bail reform already, on mandatory minimum discussions for repeat domestic violence offenders. And I do note with the pepper spray proposal, there are some pretty strong restrictions on licensed outlets. You've got to be over 18 and have a pretty clean record. But I've got to say I'm pretty lukewarm on it as well. But even talking with a group of local constituents in West Gippsland the other day, people are scared walking down the street in their home right across many parts of Australia. I was talking to a couple that had a home invasion in West Gippsland, and it's really affected them. They were putting the chair up against the door and having a baseball bat ready to defend themselves. So this is having a very big impact on people, and I think we shouldn't underplay the significance of that in this conversation.
No, I'm not. I'm also aware in Melbourne there was a terrible event out at Doreen the other day where someone was trying to fill up their car and they were carjacked. I know people won't stop at a petrol station. They're reluctant to even stop at the lights. It feels like, downtown Johannesburg in some of the suburbs of Melbourne. I mean, this is the place we're at, and this is the sort of standard of living that poor old Victorians have to suffer, and elsewhere too. I know it's pretty bad up in Townsville and elsewhere. On this vein, you'd think that the councils would do what they should do and the state government should do what they should do and would all stick to our knitting, but not if you're the Marybeck Council. This is the old Moreland Council that changed its name, of course, Dan. They want to send hundreds of thousands of dollars from ratepayers, which should be spent on fixing roads and picking up rubbish. This is a council that's sort of out of Brunswick Way, Coburg Way. They want to send it overseas to have all of these carbon offset programs like fuel efficient stoves in Guatemala and planting forests in Panama and solar lighting in Zambia. I mean, give me a break.
Well, that's right, Peter. I mean, number one, these carbon offsets are a complete and total scam. They don't do anything to help those that they're intended to help, but instead just fatten the bottom line of profits of these, well-off foreign-owned corporations. Number two, what Brad Batten, the leader of the opposition, should be saying is that under a government he leads, these councillors will be sacked immediately, and any other councillor that's been engaging in this woke social activism using ratepayers' money. I just think Victorians and Australians have had a gutful of this behaviour taking place. And at the end of the day, councils should be focused on roads, rates and rubbish, not engaging in divisive social activism. It's not as if this is the first incursion that this council and sadly many other councils have had on these kind of issues, whether it's Australia Day, whether it's the Voice to Parliament, whether it's climate activism. So I think most ratepayers just expect that the council, as you say, sticks to its knitting. But I really do think this is a significant political opportunity for the opposition in Victoria, and I really hope they run with it.
Here's another vexed one for you, Mary. Sorry, you're in the hot seat tonight. An American doctor is on his way to Australia. He's got a whole series of meetings to talk about a pretty controversial practice. Now, we don't allow someone to choose the gender of their baby via IVF in Australia, but this doctor helped an Australian woman, an influencer, who went to the US last year so she could have a girl via IVF. Now, we have seen in many countries where you can choose the sex of your child. China and India, two real examples. We've seen a great reduction in the number of little girls born. Families tend to, if they only have a couple of children or one, prefer a male child. What do you think of this option in Australia?
Yeah, I don't support a change to the existing law on this issue. I don't think it's a good thing for a range of reasons, but it does come in the backdrop. I've seen some proponents of it talking about Australia and our declining birth rates. I think there's far better ways to address that. For a lot of modern working families, one single income is not enough to be able to support them having more children. I think we need to look at childcare, accessibility, and a whole range of other things that are much more practical. So I don't support any change in the existing law on this issue.
Let's go to these woke signs in Gosford. They're not just woke, they're pretty confusing. A paramedic has pointed them out that a whole lot of Indigenous words are now being used for the emergency department, for the resuscitation bay. The emergency department is called the sick cave, and the bring back room is where you go if you need to be resuscitated. Now, there's English signs there, Dan, but they're right at the bottom. And I think the concern is that there'll be confusion and lives could be lost.
Yeah, well, I think it is confusing and it's also dangerous, Peter, and it's also divisive. And I just think that Australians look at this and we wonder, where is this actually going to end? And how does this actually help anybody? I mean, what is the point of this? The point of a hospital is to treat people no matter what their background is, no matter whether they're Indigenous or non-Indigenous. That's the job of a hospital, not to engage in any form of activism in any way, shape or form. And I think a lot of Australians also now feel that in many ways we don't really recognise the country that we live in. I mean, having different signs in hospitals, we also see street signs that can be in a different language. I'm concerned that we may go down the path of New Zealand, where they have a lot of their infrastructure and other social services that have dual names, and it's obviously a different cultural context. But I think when you look at this, it raises the question of who's this intended to help? And I've got to say, it's probably going to cause a lot of damage.
You're not wrong. I'll leave it there, both. Have a lovely weekend. I will see you both next week.